माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रजजनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रजजनरंजन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरंजन यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री राधा माधव की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सतत डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्त दानंद स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा राधानाथ की जय। श्री श्री गौर हरि की जय। श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरो चैव नरोत्तमं Deving Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai. So this morning we are continuing reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 23, which is entitled Maharaj Pruthus Going Back Home. Text number 19. To 19? Archirinama Maharagni Archirinama Maharagni Tatpatnya Anugatbanam Tatpatne Anugatabanam Sukumarya Atat Aharcha Sukumarya Atat Mahatya Tat Prabhadyam Svarsanam Bhuvaha Tat Padyabhyam Svarsanam Bhuvaha Archirinama Maharagni Tatpatni Anugatavanam Sukumarya etat aharcha Tad pradhyam svarsanam bhuvaha. Archinam Maharagni Tatpatni Anugatavanam Sukumarya tad aharcha Tatpadabhyam hasanam bhuvaha. Achinama Maharagni Tatpatni Anugatavanam Sukumarya tat archacha Tatpadyabhyam spasanam bhuvaha. Archinam Maharagni Tatpatni Anugatavanam Sukumarya tat aharcha Tatpadabhyam svarsanam bhuvaha. Acirna Maharagni Tatpatni Anugatavanam Sukumariyata harcha Tatpadyabhyam svarsanam bhuvaha. Acirnam Maharagni Tatpatni Anugatadvanam Sukumarya daharcha Tatpadabhyam spasanam bhuvaha. Archinam, of the name Archi. Maharagni, the queen. Tatpatni, the wife of Maharaj Prithu. Anugata, who followed her husband. Banam, in the forest. Sukumari, very delicate body. Atat aharaha, who did not deserve. Cha, also. Yat padabhyam, by the touch of whose feet? Sparshanam, touching. Bhuvaha, on the earth. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The queen, the wife of Prithu Maharaj, whose name was Archi, followed her husband into the forest. Since she was a queen, her body was very delicate. Although she did not deserve to live in the forest, she voluntarily touched her lotus feet to the ground. Purport. Because Prithu Maharaj's wife was the queen and also a daughter of a king, she never experienced walking on the ground, for queen used to never come out of the palace. They certainly never went to the forest and tolerated all the difficulties of living in the wilderness. In Vedic civilization, there are hundreds of similar examples of such renunciation on the part of the queens and a dedication to the husband. The goddesses of fortune, Mother Sita, followed her husband, Ramchandra. When he went to the forest, When he went to the forest, Lord Ramchandra went to the forest in compliance with the order of his father, Maharaj Dasarath. But Mother Sita was not so ordered. Nonetheless, she voluntarily accepted the path of her husband. Similarly, Gandhari, the wife of King Dhritarashtra, also followed her husband into the forest. Being the wives of a great personalities like Prithu, Lord Ramchandra and Dasarath, these were idle chaste women. Such queens also instructed the general people by showing them how to become a chaste wife and follow the husband in every stage of life. When the husband is king, she sits beside him as a queen, and when he goes to the forest, she also follows, despite having to tolerate all kinds of difficulties in the living in forest. So therefore, it is said here, Atat Aharaha, that although she did not want to touch her feet in the ground, she nevertheless accepted all difficulties when she went to the forest with her husband. Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakir Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupam Kadamahyam Tadati Sobadantikam Bande Aham Sri Guru Shijuta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Nitansha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyabadi Paschatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So thank you so much for your wonderful association. So it is said in scripture Especially when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we should always have association of devotees, and especially those who are followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Vaishnavas. So, I am honored to be here with all of your association and reading Srimad Bhagavatam and understanding the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. One thing I was meditating that when I read Srimad Bhagavatam, we should always try to understand what is the purpose of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. It is mentioned in the first canto, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we should always try to remember where we can get unalloyed devotional service. For that we are practicing devotion. So it is mentioned every shloka, every words, every syllable in Srimad Bhagavatam, they are meant for unalloyed devotional service. Whatever chapter may become, we see there are varieties of chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. And every chapter, every shloka, so they are meant for only enhancing our unalloyed devotional service we are trying to do, achieve in our life. So here we see the wonderful qualities of Prithu Maharaj. This is not just like a story. And this part of Prithu Maharaj story is the longest chapter actually, 9 chapters. It describes Prithu Maharaj's pastime. So because Prithu Maharaj was showing an example how to become a king, how to become a good husband, how to properly do the duty of the king. So that's why Lord himself incarnated as a Satyavasa avatar, as Prithu Maharaj. And also you should always think that we cannot imitate or try to imitate the activities of Prithu Maharaj. Like that day Maharaj was describing how Prithu Maharaj could take away all the ingredients which are sense subject from the sense. It is very difficult to distract the sense subject from the senses. We cannot imitate that thing. Because our senses are always with sense subject. It cannot distract. But Prithu Maharaj, he was showing an example. The Srila Prabhupada wrote that it is a very difficult verse. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being very much compassionate towards us in this age of Kali, so he made very, very wonderful and very simple and sublime method. We don't need to extract the sense object from the senses, but we practice such activity that automatically the sense object will be distracted from the senses. So as here, not only Prithu Maharaj was showing by his own example, and especially this chapter is very, very important for those who are practicing Krishna consciousness. How to give up the body. All over the world we see that so many institutions, they are only teaching how to make a nice body, right? How to take care of your body. Art of living, so many things. But art of dying, nobody is showing. Only Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us how to die. Because it begins with how to die, This Srimad Bhagavatam, it begins with how to die perfectly. So here, Prithu Maharaj in the end of his life, he is teaching us how to give up properly our life. Because unless until we prepare ourselves to give up our body, we don't know then what will happen to the next life. Bhagavad Gita Krishna Janjam Bhapismaram Bhavanta Jantante Kale Bharam. So when we are giving up our body, whatever thinking, willing, feeling, desiring coming our mind, we get immediately transfer the exactly same body. So that's why we have to be very, very careful that what we are thinking. Also Srimad Bhagavatam speaks in the first canto, Ante Narayana Smriti, Janma Labha Parapunsa. The human birth especially is meant for how you are remembering in the time of death. So that's why here Prithu Maharaj in this part of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is teaching how properly we should give up our body. And here in this today's verse especially showing the characteristic of ladies or mothers or women. Because as we know that the both of them yesterday from Vibhu Purush explanation, Prithu Maharaj and his wife, good wife, Archi Devi, they are not just man and woman, ordinary man and woman. They are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. No? Archi Devi was also part and parcel of Lakshmi Devi. So that's why she was showing her example, how to behave like a exemplary wife of a husband. Not like that Srila Prabhupada mentioned, when a husband is enjoying everything, he has a good time, wife is with him, taking part of all these things, and when a husband has a bad time, then she leaves. No? So this is hypocrisy. And particularly in this age, modern age now, so we are seeing this type of situation all over the world. So here Srila Prabhupada gave many, many examples of exalted women in our history. Because in Manu Samhita it is mentioned that actually woman does not need to do any austerity in her life. Then a question may come, then how she will get perfection in her life? The man has to do austerity, penances, all the practices, those things in their life. Woman simply has to follow her husband. By simply following her husband, she will automatically get 50% of the austerity, penances, whatever husband performs. This is so easy, but in modern days we are so difficult. No? So that's why here in this age actually, Srila Prabhupada told, okay, if you want to be independent, no problem, you follow also practice penances, you chant Hare Krishna, you perform this thing. Because we are opting ourselves actually to difficulties. Our life has been actually so simple by the arrangement of Supreme Lord, but by knowingly or unknowingly, we are putting it in a very difficult situation in our life. You see here, you see, not only here, Srila Prabhupada gave example of Mother Sita in the past time of Ramayana, how she was following the footsteps of Lord Ram, though she was not ordered to do so. Lord Ram was destined to go, to follow the principle of Dharma. But Mother Sita was not ordered to go to the forest, but voluntarily she accepted that difficulty. Because she wanted to show that how the wife should be so much dedicated to the husband. Because when she left, if you go to the Ramayana, in the different pastime Ramayana, when she got married and she was given farewell from her mother's house, her mother taught her, never, never ever in your life you should give up the company of Lord Ram. For now, your mother's house is completely closed for you. Now your soul and whole is Sri Ram, and their house is everything for you. So in those days, that's why the teaching of mothers to the daughter when they are getting married. Of course, now the change, already so many changes. We don't want to discuss those things. So we have all experience in the nowadays. But the point I am saying here, that was a lesson actually that women they are getting from their mother. And when they come to the another house, actually women's life is also very, very difficult and a very austere life. Because see, they born and brought in a one family from up to their younghood. And all of a sudden, they have transported to another house, right? It is very difficult to manage in another house actually. But somehow the Krishna has given them, empowered them such good quality. So they immediately, though that is a completely new place for them, they immediately accompanied by their own loving exchange and a relationship building with others, her husband's family. And they they think that now this is my own house. She completely forgets their mothers or their house. So that's a Jai Shri Shri Radharanath ki Jai Shri. So in Indian tradition, we see that in the past time, we see in our childhood in a village. So when the daughter get married, or we don't think that actually our mother does never think that we get an in-law, my son-in-law, as our daughter-in-law. So they think that one of our daughter has come from another house. So they gave them so much love and affection, she immediately forgets her own mother's house. So that was the tradition actually our Vedic civilization. So that's why when the woman gets so much love and affection in her husband's house and all the family members, and automatically she becomes dedicated completely to her husband. So that's why here we see Archi Devi, though she was not ordinary woman, so she is showing by her example. So Mother Sita, like Srila Prabhupada gave example, Mother Sita showed the same path, and Gandhari also showed the same path. When Vidura preached the Dhritarashtra about the Banprastha life, so to give up this family, all these royal comforts and everything to go to the forest, Gandhari was not preached to do so, but she voluntarily followed the path of Dhritarashtra. Because as you know, the Gandhari was not ordinary lady, no. Even she was not blind from the born. Dhritarashtra was born blind, but she voluntarily dedicated her life to her husband, no. So she voluntarily blind herself. So that was see the qualities of a lady, woman in our history. There are so many stories actually in Srimad Bhagavatam also we see that how Devahuti followed her husband, no? Devahuti was the daughter of Manu Maharaj. She was not an ordinary woman. She was a princess, no? She was not supposed to live in the forest with a mendicant and a mendicant. But she voluntarily accepted, no? This. And Kardamuni never pushed her to, you must follow these rules and regulations, you have to dedicate these things. That. No, Devahuti was voluntarily accepted the austerity. And by serving voluntarily to Kardamuni, what she got in her life? Supreme Personality of Godhead become her son. What can you need? No? What more you need in your life? If the Supreme Lord Himself comes as your son, then what else you need in your life? So that was the system actually our Vedic civilization. It was so easy. Only Devahuti was not personally performing any penances. She was not practicing different type of yoga system as Kardamuni was doing. She was simply just following or assisting her husband. When her husband was doing something, she was just assisting. And she got the perfection in her life. And same thing here also we see the Archi Devi, though she was not meant to go to the forest with her husband, but she voluntarily accepted this difficulty. As we see here, they are born in royal families. As we see also in the past time of when Nanda Maharaj and Jasoda, in their previous birth, when they were Dhara and Drona, how much penances they did. No? Even they are completely forget about the eating. No? The both of them were doing penances and practicing penance. Because as we know that when you are practicing a Banprastha life, especially, Srila Prabhupada write in next purport that that time there is allowed the wife should accompany with the husband. That is system of Varnashram. So both of them practice austerity life. Though nowadays it is very difficult, there is no burn, no forest nowadays, no? So it is very difficult. But voluntarily they should accept the austerity life, even they live in the household. So Prabhupada told that though they don't need to go to the forest, but the same house they can practice Banprastha life. The same house they can practice. They can give up all their so-called engagement to their children, so they let them take care of everything. They practice and dedicate more life for serving the Supreme Lord, do some menial service if there is possible nearby some temple. So, as much as possible, they minimize their requirement. No, they minimize whatever the requirement, especially their bodily need, other things. So in that way, so they're trying to, like Srila Prabhupada himself was showing in his palace, how much we cannot actually imitate Srila Prabhupada's and other their activities. But from that we can take some lesson from those things. At least in some extent, whatever possible for me, whatever I can handle, I cannot do be fanatic and I must do this, completely give up all the eating, that. We cannot do that immediately. So there will be difficult situation will come. So as much as we can handle, sincerely we will try to manage ourselves that I should practice some austerity in my life. So though Prabhupada in many cases we have some conflict or some misunderstanding of the devotees. Oh, Prabhupada did not tell this thing, we have not tell this thing. So no, Prabhupada has not forced, Prabhupada's teaching are not forcing anybody, because a human being we have our certain intelligence and independence. Even the Supreme Lord himself does not force anybody, human being. Though he can, he can force the human being to do, but he never interfere. You are manually independent, whatever. So Prabhupada never forced anybody. But where it is required, somebody can do practice more penances, more austerity, Prabhupada allowed. Okay, you can do this thing. So like here we see in this characteristic of Archi Devi, she was not forced by anybody. Even Pruthu Maharaj never forced her to go to forest. No, you come with me, the forest. So you are my better half, you must follow me. No. Pruthu Maharaj never forced her. But by showing the example to the people, Archi Devi, and showing the how chastity she is. Not only she was enjoying when Pruthu Maharaj was a royal king, she was enjoying the queen, all the facility in the royal palace. And now Pruthu Maharaj is going for forest to give out. So how can it possible for her to stay back in a palace? Same thing as the Mother Sita told to Lord Ram. When Lord Ram asked her, no, you don't need to go. You are not ordered by my father, or you are not supposed to go to the forest. You are so delicate to your body. You never have experience. I have experience in the childhood. We are living in the forest. I went with Vishwamitra Rishi. We have experience about the forest life. You never had the experience of forest life. So you should not go to forest. And it is a very difficult life. And there are so many demons and so many ups and downs. There is no proper place to sleep. No certain things to eat. So then what Mother Sita replied? She told, my dear Lord, so if you are not taking me to the forest, so even here I stay in the palace of Ayodhya, so I'll die. And that if you are not here in this Ayodhya, then that will become forest for me. And if you are in the forest, and that forest will become Ayodhya for me. That is become palace. So then Lord Ram said, okay, now that's all. No, I can. So whatever you desire, you do so. And Mother Sita was accompanying Lord Ram in every step of their life. So this is called actually the husband and wife, their relationship. That's why the wife is called Ardhangini. Ardhangini means better half. In English we say better half. Actually that is not only better half. Like in the beginning I told, she gets actually practices in penance, whatever you do, the result she get half of yours, 50% of yours. The husband, automatically. You don't need to give her. She will get automatically the 50% of your benefit if she follows the footstep in proper. Only just follow the husband. So that will we never see in any scripture or any Puranas that women do so much penances practices. Only some certain few cases we see. But never it is shown. Because they automatically get the result. Simply has to follow the footstep of their husband. So here as we see, Srila Prabhupada again explained the Gandhari's pastime, how she followed her husband. No? Though she was not supposed to go to the forest. So by this example we should see that how chastity the woman. Even in few years back, 100 years back, in India this system was there also. When we see after this how she went the same fire with Prithu Maharaj, Archi Devi. Though nowadays it has been socially abandoned, but actually this was a very wonderful situation actually in the past life, as we see also in Mahabharata. When Pandu Maharaj was passed away in the forest, when Pandu Maharaj was passed away, then because he had two wives, Kunti and Madri, two wives. So both of them were equally dedicated to Pandu Maharaj. So the both of them wanted to give up their own body with Pandu Maharaj. No? But somehow Madri Devi could convince Kunti Devi, no, you have to take care of the children because I am sometimes become partial. Because my sons and your sons, sometimes I see the difference, but you have not like that quality. So you please remain. I go voluntarily. I take voluntarily. I go to the forest with fire with my husband Pandu Maharaj. So even this thing was completely sanctioned by all the sages and munis, rishis in the forest. They were not doing this like whimsically. Because nowadays, before actually 100 years when this system was banned, because many times they forced the wife, no, you must go to the fire with your husband. No? So this was not voluntarily happening. But this system is actually so sublime actually in the past age, as we see that. So the people in this material world, they try to manipulate the system. No? Because due to manipulation, so we are trying to follow this thing, that thing, and because this lack of proper guidance. That's why Krishna is saying that millennium after millennium he has to come to establish this dharma, no? The religious practice. So that's why this system, as we see here, though it is very difficult nowadays to follow. Like Archi Devi was following into Prithu Maharaj to the forest, and they are living and practicing penances, these things, both of them equally doing. It is very difficult for our part actually. But nonetheless, we can also follow or practice some type of austerity in our life. Like a husband and wife, both they can practice in their life when they come to the certain age, as in the beginning I was explaining. So Srila Prabhupada again is saying that despite having in the toilet all kinds of ups and downs, she never complains. no, in a house we are been staying like this. So why this facility is not here? Forest, what can we expect in? What type of comfort you expect in the forest? Forest life is like that. So, in another sense, it is saying that not only Archidevi was teaching to the women, even the practicing, those who are practicing devotional service, for them also. It is very, very important, because our purpose of life is to achieve the desired goal, which we always remain in Krishna consciousness, or always engage ourselves in the lotus of Krishna. If our goal is like, we understood our goal, that following certain practices and penances in our life, and it will help me in my practicing Krishna consciousness, then we will not try to deviate in our life. We will be focused, so like here, though there are difficulties in the forest life, especially for a prince or a queen who never have been experienced in their life, it is showing us, those who are practicing Krishna consciousness. So voluntarily we have to also take this type of difficulties and try to understand that these are the real boon for me given by the Supreme Lord, or to purify myself. Otherwise, sometimes we have many complaints. Why I don't do this? Even coming to the ashram many times. Many times we are coming to ashram, we have complained, I have not this comfort, I have not this, that, this, so many complaints. And we should ask ourselves, why did we come for the ashram? What is our purpose of coming to ashram? And why should I take a Krishna consciousness in my life? I could be like an outsider, like person. I have taken this Krishna consciousness in my life, means to get or achieve something in my life. To achieve something in my life means to have to sacrifice something, right? So voluntarily we have accepted this Krishna consciousness. Nobody forced us to come into Krishna consciousness. If voluntarily we have accepted, then why voluntarily we are not accepting whatever penance and practices has been given in our path of devotional service? So that's why I was hearing one lecture of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Maharaj is saying this, since we have come to the Krishna consciousness, so we voluntarily accepted this process. We know there are so many ups and downs will come in this path. This is not like that walking in the royal road, no? Even Prahlad Maharaj in the beginning, he got so many difficulties in his life. We never ever think that, oh, Krishna consciousness chant and only be happy, no? There will so many difficulties, they will come in our life. So we have to prepare ourselves. I am not criticizing, and my point is not to criticize any devotee or other thing. That's why we have to introspect ourselves. Because in practicing Krishna consciousness, we have to since I have come to this this wonderful situation or a wonderful thing that Krishna consciousness I have come, though it is very rarely achieved in human form of life. So I must prepare myself to at least do whatever has been given to do as for practicing. So we cannot deviate from this. So here one thing we can learn from our Krishna consciousness activities, as Archidevi, though she was not supposed to go to the forest with Prutha Maharaj, as she was not told to go, but she voluntarily accepted the life. She knows very well that a forest is not easy place to stay in, but she voluntarily accepted. So same thing in our life, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we should try ourselves to voluntarily accept the whatever rules and regulations and penances, practices has been given to us. We should embrace it voluntarily. Not like that we are told, oh, you must get up in Mangala Arati, you must go toward these things. No. In some extent we have been, because we have been accustomed with so many different in many lifetime. In the beginning maybe we have to be forced, like the temple in ashram life. In the beginning, the temple commander has to come and ring the bell oh, get up, 4 o'clock already. But how long he can help you? So we have to show our voluntary eagerness ourselves. So we have to get up ourselves, we have to prepare ourselves. So this somehow this idea came to my mind. So if you have any comment or question, you're free. It's a little understanding of mine, what I added to practice, to increase my Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment? You are free to share.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thanks for the wonderful class. Maharaj, what's my concern is that like 4 stages, brahmachari, grihashra, vanapas, the last stage is now in this age of Kali, and it's so difficult to go to the forest when the wife reaches about 77, 78, must he do? Must he leave his wife and go?
Yeah, like yesterday we are hearing one quote from Srila Prabhupada, yesterday's quote. Prabhupada saying that if your wife and husband both are together and practicing Krishna consciousness with the utmost carefully, so there is no need to go to forest. So that is, we actually make the forest situation in our home. So Srila Prabhupada gave this transcendental movement actually, how to practice the forest life in the home. So as we know that here in the city of Durban, it is not like in Bharatvarsha there is no dham, like Vrindavan, Mathura, this thing. But Prabhupada created this dham, like here. In this material world, he created dham, he established the deity. And so like that, same thing also. If we go towards, and we see that we create ourselves, when we understood properly the script from the scripture, the Banprastha life we create in our house. So we practice ourselves and make the forest in our house, the home we make a forest. Don't need to go to forest. Of course there is no forest nowadays, much left. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So you were talking about the popular quote. Prabhupada wrote that book, Chanted Be Happy. And in sociology and even in education, behavior modification is underpinned by fun. So if something is fun and positive, then a person or student or learner or child can modify their behavior. So is it possible for Krishna consciousness to be fun all the time for different practitioners in order to get the highest result?
Yeah, of course Krishna consciousness is fun, full of fun.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course Krishna consciousness is full of fun. But we have to understand it properly, how the fun. Not like that, like fun we are experiencing in this material world. This fun is a completely different type of fun. Even Krishna, when he is playing with his, in the lap of his mother, that is fun. When he is doing mischievous activities, he is playing with his cowherd boys, that is fun also. And same time when he is speaking to the Bhagavad Gita, that is also fun. We should take every activity in Krishna consciousness. Whether we are dancing in Mangalarti, or dancing in Kirtan, or when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, or sometimes we are engaged in service, in different activities, that also we take as it is fun. Because Krishna consciousness activities all are in fun. Because in Krishna Loka, nobody is looking at moras, no? Everybody is in fun. And they are talking like they are singing song. And they are not walking, they are just dancing always. So that's why Krishna consciousness, all the activities, even philosophical discussion, when our chanting, dancing, kirtan, distributing books, everything is fun. Only our consciousness, we have to develop our consciousness. Okay?
Swamiji, I had a lot of fun with you yesterday at the program, even though I had whiplash from the car. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any other question, comment? Rukuni, you have?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Seeing this example of Archie and King Prithu, it reminds me of other places in the Bhagavatam that compares the disciple to the king and the spiritual master to the king and the disciple to the queen. And I was thinking that Archie, she enters into the fire, but in some ways it seems that that would be the easier thing to do when the spiritual master leaves, to just enter into the fire and burn once. But what really seems to happen is that we enter into the fire of grief and it keeps burning. And so, anyway, those are just my thoughts when I read the verse, and I wondered if you had any thoughts on that.
Okay. Thank you for... no, as we understand, especially the relation between a spiritual master and a disciple, especially Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur teaching that he speaks always that disciple lives the words and instruction of spiritual master. Though actually he is burning in the fire of separation, the disciple, but he lives as he has been instructed by his spiritual master. Like as we heard from the pastime of gopis, they are practically still burning in the fire of separation, but they are living only one word, Krishna, I will come back. So like that, Srila Prabhupada's life also we see. So Prabhupada always he was saying that I am leaving only the instruction and the instruction of my spiritual master. So that's why when a spiritual master is given some instruction, so we cannot just give up our body. So you have to live to follow that instruction. Okay? Like in Sanatana Goswami's pastime also you see. Sanatana Goswami wanted to give up his body in the chariot wheel, right? He came for that purpose to Jagannath Puri. But Mahaprabhu said, who gave you the permission? You have no right on your body. This is my body. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking Sanatana Goswami, this is my body. So who gave you the permission to give up this body? So like that the disciple, they take it in absence of spiritual master. Is it okay? So thank you very much for your association this morning. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sambhed Bhakta Vrind ki, Gaur Pramanande. Hare Krishna.